What's up? It's Icy, and today we gotta talk about Chance the Rapper. But first, what y'all think about my Chance the Rapper inspired fit? You know, I got the jean jacket, you know, I got the Chicago hat. The main part really is just the hat. You know, Chance's outfits are, you know, wear whatever and throw a hat on top of it. So, you know, I had to go ahead and do it like him. I get the vibes up in the air. You feel me? I had to get the vibes up in the air. 2024 has been an explosive year for music so far. So, you know, why not make a comeback? Like, why not? Why shouldn't Chance make a comeback this year? This is the year to do it if you're gonna do it. Personally, I'm excited. I'm a huge fan of Chance outside of the album that shall not ever be named. That shit is like Voldemort in my house, bro. Like, I don't want to ever hear the name of the album. I don't want to know it existed. As far as I'm concerned, the last mixtape dash, like, you know, album-esque drop Chance had was the coloring book. That's the background. That's it. Nothing else exists, okay? Don't even bring it up, please. I don't want to hear it ever again. Question of the video is, can Chance make a comeback? And I don't know. I'm biased, you know. I want Chance to be able to make a comeback. I'm biased as all hell. I'm a fan of him. I'm a fan of his music. But for the purposes of this video, I'm going to try to be as objective as possible about him, his music, and how likely it is for him to actually make a full comeback. Chance the Rapper was a uniquely great artist. He has a combination of tone and pitch in his voice that makes him sound really unique, and it's a sound that you're only really gonna get from him. It makes it hard to get album fatigue when you're or mixtape fatigue when you're listening to any one of his projects, and it also makes him stand out as an artist because you are not getting those sounds, those vocals anywhere else. So when you have a unique artist like that, the threshold for making music becomes higher in terms of difficulty because you have such a unique sound. You need a strong creative drive to keep up with that unique sound that you've developed in order to make appealing music. Case in point, the album that shall never be named ever, that was shit from sound to content. So going back to the question from the top of the video, if Chance can make a comeback, the question really isn't can Chance the Rapper make a comeback or not. The question is, does Chance the Rapper have the creative drive to make music that is strong, both content-wise and sonically, whether that takes the forms of anything interesting or fun? As much as I fuck with Chance the Rapper, I'm not sure if he has that drive anymore. So going into this a little bit, Chance and his wife recently divorced. It was after that divorce, after all that news started coming out, that Chance started to drop snippets, then he dropped a couple of songs. So people are speculating that him divorcing his wife, considering, you know, how big a part he played on his last album, is going to drive him to make music and make music that's better than the content he had in his last album, because now he no longer has a wife, and people think that's going to take him back into his old music. So I'm going to take that opportunity to, you know, go off a little bit and do a little sidebar. I never ever understood why people wanted Chance, or saying to want Chance to go back on acid so he can go make music like he did on acid rap. And I'm not talking about understanding why people say that. Like, I get it, it means I'm not taking all that serious, but I don't understand why people think acid rap is that much better than coloring book. Acid rap was a really fun and zany project, super interesting, and it was what introduced a lot of people to Chance the Rapper. That was his blow-up project. But the coloring book has infectious positivity, immaculate production, a lot of replay value. The energy I get when I'm listening to the coloring book just triumphs over the fun I had when I was listening to acid rap, especially because I feel like a lot of people are comparing their first time listening to Chance to their second time listening to Chance, and hate the differences more so than they're realizing they're just relishing in how they felt when they discovered him for the first time. And, you know, acid rap Chance may have been short-lived, but he evolved evolved into something that's more healthy and more sustainable anyways. Based on what he was saying, it's not like if he were to maintain the course of his lifestyle that he was living when he made that project, like anything else was really going to come out of it. It didn't sound like anything else was going to come out of it because he was really in a dark place in his life. So outside of, me being happy for him, finding his peace, on a music standpoint, I personally like the coloring book. The coloring book to me, just again, it's the replay value behind it is versus the experience of listening to it to the first time. And that alone makes it and puts it on a pedestal for me above acid rap. And shout out to Chance for switching up the content of his music entirely from his blow up project to the project following it. That's an insane thought. For you to have this blow up sound, this blow up content, you know what your fans want, you're growing like that, everything's going great, and you switch lanes because you no longer feel comfortable and don't want to be that person you were when you were making that music. That shows a lot of character, that shows a lot of maturity, and I can appreciate that, and it came without sacrificing any sound or quality. So special shout out to Chance for that. And no shade to my acid rap lovers out there. Acid rap is fun, coloring book is positive. I just think the coloring book infectious positivity surpasses acid rap's fun factor. Getting back to Chance's comeback, although divorcing his wife has seemingly gotten him back into music, right, considering he just dropped 2 songs, I don't think it's enough to kickstart his creative drive. He had a snippet that dropped about a month ago that turned into Buried Alive, a song he dropped, I believe, a couple weeks ago now, maybe 3 weeks ago now, and it was cool. It wasn't bad. It was like the rapping performance was good. The content was fine for what it was. It was really short, but he sounded very scorned on it. He's talking about betrayal. Of course, I'm sure the divorce is affecting him. All the negativity he's been receiving from all his fans. Everyone, talking shit about him. I'm sure all of that's affecting him. All that was really coming out in the song. And I don't personally really want to hear Scorn Chance on multiple tracks. It was cool for this track. It was cool. It was I liked it better when it was acapella on the snippet he dropped. But it was cool. It was a nice musical performance. I liked it for what it was. But I don't think he could really do anything more with that content specifically. And then the actual track I want to get into, which is Together with him and DJ Premier. That track was good. I liked it. Very solid track. Together had solid production. It was a song about family and community. The first verse was about him and his family, him growing up and just his interactions within his family. It kind of set the scene for a Thanksgiving kind of event. And then the second verse was about community. Again, I really enjoyed the second verse personally because I could relate with it, growing up in similar communities. So again, that song's gonna be for each different individual. If you relate with it, you're gonna love it. If you don't, I'm not necessarily sure how you're gonna feel about it. But I think it was sonically appealing. I think everything was good about it. I think it felt good, very tranquil, had a lot of positivity to it. So even if you don't relate with it, I still think you'll enjoy the track. And I think this might have been an album cut that he released early. And if it is, then he's starting to reach for the same, interesting pitch adjustments, the same, positivity, tranquility vibe that he was going for on Coloring Book, and the same things he was trying to do on his follow-up album. But on this song, it does sound more like a Coloring Book-esque song where it's holding up in terms of production and sound quality. So the question is, why do I think a potential album cut is good, but Chance might not have that creative drive back and he might not be able to make that comeback? And the reason is the content. Chance has been going for this positive content since he released Coloring Book. Ever since Coloring Book, he has not been able to successfully make a positive sounding track that both sounded good and it was interesting and wasn't fucking corny. And while this song might have been good, you can't talk about family and community the same way he talked about on this track for the duration of a project. What does he get talked about on the rest of the project? Does he have that many topics to tackle? Can he really make an interesting project like that. I feel like Coloring Book had a good balance of different types of vibes, different types of topics. If you go back and look through it, there almost wasn't any recycled content in each song, right? Most of them were different, all of them still positive, and that doesn't hold true for like the rest of his content afterwards, where it felt recycled, it felt corny, it felt stale, and I just don't know if he has that much content to really work with. The problem has never really been his sound, or I mean it was at one point in time, but generally speaking, the problem has never really been his sound. If he works hard enough, I'm sure he can sound fine. The problem is, I don't know if he really knows the content he wants to make. If he wants to keep making scorn content, it's probably not going to sound that good. It's probably not going to be that interesting. It's probably going to come off weird because he's not a scornful individual. We know this, right? And it's not going to fit within the same vibe of the positivity. If he wants to go back to full positivity vibes, that's cool, that's fun and all. What can you say that's interesting? What can you say that's not corny? I don't really know how many more topics he has in his head to tackle on that subject. These are all things that are going through my head when I'm thinking about Chance dropping another album. I don't know if he has it in him to really reach the same highs he hit with Coloring Book. And if his last album wasn't what it was, I probably wouldn't be worried the way I am now, but I can't, even though it is the album that shall never be named, I can't just pretend it doesn't exist when I'm talking about projecting how Chance is going to be doing in the future. He has to fully move past that before I can actually really ignore an album like that. I want the best for him and I'm hopeful, but I can't just ignore the last, what is it, 10 years now? Oh my god. Is it 10 years? Is it 10? I need to check this up real quick. It's 8 years. It's 8 years. The last 8 years. Oh my god, that's so bad. That's so bad. And also that whole divorce situation that he went through, it got him back into making music, sure, but like that doesn't hold any weight to how good his music actually is gonna be. Like I think we can all agree on that, right? But like I said at the top of the video, I'm a huge Chance fan, always have been. I think he makes great music. I do appreciate him showing the positive side of hip hop, and I want him to be successful going forward, right? I want nothing more than all of this comeback noise to amount to something great for him. But anyways, that's the video. Just talking a little bit about Chance and his comeback. What do you guys think? Do you guys think he's going to make a comeback? Do you guys think this is not going to happen? Do you like Acid Rap with a Coloring Book? Do you think I'm stupid for thinking Coloring Book is better than Acid Rap? Whatever your opinions are, please share them down below because all opinions are valid opinions. Thanks for watching. And also, before I wrap up this video, special thanks to everyone who watched my last video. As of recording this, I think I'm at like 6.5k views on like my 5th video, and I got like 60 subs off of it. Didn't know you guys liked that video that much. I'm not gonna lie to you, I thought I would be talking to this for a little while here, so I'm glad to know that you guys are here listening to me. Like I said at the end of that video, trying to build a community here. I feel like that's a great first step towards it, so I want everyone to be as active as possible if you're watching the videos, just because I do want to hear all of your different opinions. That's the whole point. I will be starting a Discord eventually, and I didn't think I was going to need to start one soon, but I'm going to get working on that now. Yeah, thanks for checking out my video. I appreciate all of you. Have a good one. Peace.